The royal family are steeped in tradition, and throughout history the royal tables have showcased culinary excellence. In celebration of royal food,
we know it's the Queen's recipe because we've got it in our own hand.
From the present and the past,
that is proper regal.
we recreate old family favourites.
Now, the Queen Mother had this really wicked trick with these.
What a mess.
We sample royal eating al fresco.
Oh, wow. That is what you want.
And revisit the most extravagant times.
Pheasant, stag, turkey, salmon, oysters and turbot dressed in a lobster champagne sauce.
Unbelievable.
This is Royal Recipes. Hello, I'm Michael Burke and welcome to Royal Recipes. This is Audley End, one of Britain's finest stately homes. Built in the style of a royal palace and once owned by a king. In the splendour of the gardens, halls and kitchen of this grandest of country houses, we'll be recreating the food served at the highest royal tables. And it all starts here with this gem, a royal kitchen maid's cookbook, the only surviving recipe book of its kind in the Royal Archive. This is an exact copy of the original, which is kept at Windsor Castle. Inside, the recipes of Mildred Nichols, who worked at Buckingham Palace in the early 1900s. And for the first time in over 100 years, we'll be bringing these recipes back to life. Grant Harrold here has been butler to Prince Charles and Prince William and Prince Harry and been off on several trips to their haunts. You were based at Highgrove when you were Prince Charles's butler, but you went on tours with him to some of these places.
Absolutely, and I felt very lucky to be able to travel to Castlemaine, Balmoral Castle, Sandringham House, and Holyrood obviously as well, the kind of main residence in Scotland. So it was quite a privilege to be able to kind of travel around with him.
Was it a fairly gamey affair? I mean, what are these places like?
Some of them are huge, as you can imagine. They can be a little bit eerie. I remember being at Castle of May, arriving up there, and it was my first evening. Went to bed after obviously doing the dinner. As you can imagine, quite tired, sat in my bed, and suddenly I felt this thing hit me in the back of the head, and I looked up and there was a bat, and I thought, fantastic, just what I've been always wanting, a bat flying around the room. So I very quickly opened the window and it went back out. So,
did you yell?
I did actually. Yes, I did. I yelled rather loudly. I think the royals and the staff all could hear my screams.
And being a butler there when you're on the road, is that different from being a butler back at Highgrove?
It's very much the same.
Do you mix more with the royals?
Well, you do. I mean, you're still doing all the traditional jobs of a butler, serving the table, as we said, looking after the guests. But at the same time, they actually allow you to get involved in, for example, the kind of balls that take place, the parties. I mean, I've been so lucky that I've been invited to many different royal events, including the Gillies Ball, which is obviously quite a famous dance at Balmoral Castle.
Have you danced with the Queen?
I have danced with the Queen.
Really?
I danced with the Queen and the Duchess of Cornwall, and this was a dream of mine when I was a youngster. I remember watching this documentary about the Queen and seeing the Gillies Ball, and I thought it would be amazing one day to actually get to dance with her. And little did I realise, probably about 20-odd years later, there I would be dancing with the Queen.
Does Prince Charles take his own food with him from Highgrove? He's a bit of a foodie, isn't he?
Well, he's a huge believer in obviously food, with being grown organic clay. Highgrove is a fantastic example of that, and I think like anybody that kind of believes in growing things the correct way, you know, the food will travel around, and he's passionate about it. You know, he really promotes organic food, and obviously you can see that from Highgrove.
I'll bear that in mind, thanks.